Caitlin Clark
Mm-hmm.
and
I'm a fan.
Angel Reese, right?
Yeah.
They're going back and
I'm a
forth.
fan of both.
And Jamil Hill says by the time Angel Reese is done, she's going to be the Michael Jordan of WNBA.
She said about Angel Reese?
She said Angel Reese, by the time she retires, can you pull up this quote? She said, by the time she retires, she will be the MJ.
If it were a poor reality TV show, Stephen A. Smith abruptly stopped Angel Reese's ego trip after she executed the classic Caitlin Clark act that had the internet yelling, "Oh no, she didn't." If you consider basketball, drama reached its zenith on the court, so Angel Reese could require aloe, and Stephen A. just turned the microphone into a flamethrower. What was it she did? You're not prepared for this pandemonium, I see. Let's go diving.
It's not about black and white. It's about that white player and that black player. Why? Because of the history that they had before they came to the WNBA. You see, it was all instigated. If Angel Reese was never in Caitlin Clark's face, taunting her the way that she did when they mimicking what Caitlin Clark was doing to numerous opponents en route to the Final Four. And then Angel Reese and LSU bust their living you-know-what at that particular moment in time. And Angel Reese was in her face chirping at her the way that she did, it would have never gotten to this point.
We have a lot of folks that have come to the defense of numerous WNBA players because they were pointing out like this has been going on before long and people are not hating on her. It's not about hating on her. It's that you feel she is getting a level of attention that you deserved and you warranted long before she ever.
4 points, that's all. That's the entire tweet. We're referring to the Sky v. Fever game, where Angel Reese scored 4 points as if she were on a scoring diet, and Caitlin Clark's absence somehow sapped her offensive energy. Caitlin wasn't even on the court, to be honest. Like a happy suburban soccer mom, the girl was watching the game while wrapped up like a mummy and drinking Gatorade on the bench. Angel Reese was still unable to capitalize.
Several marquee matchups on the slate. Most fans were excited to see Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever take on Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky. The game was a blowout as the Fever beat down Chicago 93-58, with Clark's triple-double leading the way. But the biggest headline coming out of the game on Saturday is the investigation the WNBA is conducting into allegations of hateful fan comments directed at Angel Reese. It happened after this play when Clark slapped at the ball after Reese grabbed an offensive.
How do you get to the conclusion that today will be the worst game of your career when the star player is physically icing her ankle on the sidelines? Together, let's make it unforgettable. Was that a ploy to demonstrate that she is the anti-Caitlin mission? Completed. Because Angel was performing really low numbers, that ought to have been accompanied by a melancholy trombone sound effect while Caitlin was busy recuperating. 4 points. It isn't a stat line. That is a cry for assistance.
Was calling it from day one. You got people that are resentful towards her. But it's really not about her, guys. It's about what she represents. Before she ever came along, there were a lot of outstanding basketball players who happened to be black females that was doing their thing on the WNBA level. And they never got this kind of shit.
Indeed, she grabbed her cherished 12 rebounds. Oh, those rebounds are her lifeblood. You would think that every rebound would include a free Chick-fil-A voucher. She seizes them as if her career depends on it. Which, following this catastrophe, she would be wealthy if rebounds were gold bars. She's acting as though scoring is beneath her. But she points out Bucket's actual offense, as if, by not dropping double digits, she's helping the game.
Your thoughts?
Well, first of all, it's not a rivalry. Not when you're losing by 35 points.
That's true.
It's not rivalry. Indiana Fever's on a different level than the Chicago Sky. Let's get that out the way. Secondly, as much as we love Angel Reese because she is special, she's not Caitlin Clark as a player. Caitlin Clark is on a different level. We just have to own that. Angel Reese can rebound the basketball. She's a damn good player. She's got a bright future in the WNBA, but Caitlin Clark is next.
When even the pundits are attempting to spin it as though she's contributing in other ways, you know it's awful. Other methods, such as what morale she appeared to have spent 40 minutes performing aerobic exercises. She appeared to be contemplating a second career in reality TV at one point when the camera captured her staring off into space. The actual statistic. Let's face it, Angel Reese used to enter with all the swagger, and Patters of Chicago will soon be available on a streaming service in your area. The nails were perfectly manicured by the lashes. The untouchable mindset. However, that stat line is currently providing, I forgot that today was a game. She screamed, "I peaked in college" during her performance. She did not promise this season. The Bayou Barbie Dominance Tour is not this. The empty wine glass is being held by the WNBA and Angel's desperate housewives. Caitlin Clark, meanwhile, is being singled out as though she owes the league money. She even manages to help out by handing out assists and draining threes when they let her shoot. But she's still being double-teamed as if she's Steph Curry's long-lost cousin.
Elaborate a little bit more on that in just a second. But before I do that, I want to ask you your thoughts about apparently some racial animus that was thrown in the direction of Angel Reese. The Chicago Sky have gotten involved, talking about they're going to protect their players at all costs. The WNBA has issued a statement saying it abhors and discourages hate of any kind, etc., etc. Your thoughts about it? Here's the WNBA statement. The WNBA strongly condemns racism, hate, and discrimination in all forms. They have no place in our league or in society. We are aware of the allegations and are looking into the matter. Your thoughts about that element of all of this, where you believe it emanates from, and do you think it will ever subside?
Oh, man. The latter part of that, Stephen A., is quite the thing to think on. I think when you go back to the impetus of the rivalry that we have between Caitlin and Angel Reese, I remember funny clips.
Despite having the stage, spotlight, microphone, and backing dancers, Angel was still unable to remember her lines. And that flex with 12 rebounds. It's time to acknowledge that not all rebounds are made equal. Angel offended her mother by bouncing back like the ball. She now makes stat padding her full-time career. Like she's trying out for a CrossFit commercial, she's boxing out players, but then she turns around and throws up a shot as if it were a piece of abstract art. She's currently just accumulating boards like if she were collecting Pokemon cards. You have to catch them all, but she never uses them. There are now rumors. Yes, those concerning sports rumors that she was benched and forgotten. The WNBA isn't a high school gold mine. Bravo for attempting. You're sitting if you're not scoring. And Angel Reese's courtside style may be her greatest asset to the squad. She might want to check with the clothing department rather than the coaching staff if they start cutting minutes. She is expected to have a breakthrough season this year. The moment she humiliates all of the critics demonstrates that she is more than just a low-key attitude. Rather, she is becoming the player equivalent of a TikTok trend that went viral but faded after 2 weeks. Recall the challenge of the milk crate. That is the current trajectory of Angel's career. We began on a high, took a shaky step, and are now watching in slow motion as the crash starts.
Clark's or Angel Reese's popularity in large part is attributed to her behavior towards Caitlin Clark, because when Caitlin Clark was busy taunting opponents a couple of years back before LSU smacked Iowa around in the national championship game or so, it was Angel Reese that was clapping back at Caitlin Clark once it was Caitlin Clark's turn to have her comeuppance. And that's what made Angel Reese famous. Now, Angel Reese experienced vitriol thereafter. It was tough for her to deal with, as she articulated, and that's unfortunate because we got some no-good ass.
Don't get it mixed up. Everyone wanted her to be successful. She is a walking celebrity. A quote generator. The image, the competition, and the drama WNBA gold. However, if you are unable to post points on the board, all of that brilliance is nothing. 4 points is insufficient. Unless she's expressing her opinion about minimalism in professional athletics through some kind of long-form performance art, the supporters are suddenly taking notice. Yes, they do see it. Like it was draft night, Twitter was ablaze. 4 points. Is she all right? The offensive ghost, but the rebounding queen. It's becoming vicious. Even Angel Reese diehards are publishing opinion articles suggesting that Perhaps it's time to acknowledge that she's having difficulties. Indeed, Karen. Like a Roomba on a shag carpet, she's having trouble. Even worse is the in contrast. Caitlin Clark's presence alone draws attention to every weakness in Angel's game. It's like highlighting your errors. Angel Reese is out there with a healthy body and a clear runway, and nevertheless manages to trip over her own potential, while Caitlin is out with an injury and still manages to be the center of attention. Furthermore, there are currently tales that permeate locker rooms like the stench of despair. Is she going to be placed on the bench? Will they give her some rest for her growth? We don't know what to do with her, but we don't want to say it out loud, so that's the front office code. A full-time rebound hoarder who acts like an allergy to the basket is not what this guy signed up for.
Women that get this, I'm tired of it. Like, here's my thing, you guys. What else? Who are these girls? Who are these girls that are hating on Caitlin Clark? Are you just combing through Twitter? What else are these women supposed to do? Fawn over her? Fangirl over her? Bend the fucking knee? Kiss the ring? Like, what do you want from them? We cannot, every time the girl plays a game, she got 40 games, guys. She got 35 more games. We are not every single game gonna revisit and retread this same tired ass rhetoric that all these girls are hating on her, and they need to be thankful
they desire to be seen. Instead of someone whose stat line resembles a lottery ticket that nearly won, a leader is someone who shows up and shows out. It's more than just a slump. If this is her worst season opener, it's a siren. Additionally, charitable minutes are not used by the WNBA. You can't rely just on your college connections. Here, LSU highlights are not what win games. You turn into a bench fixture with gorgeous lashes and an inspirational Instagram bio the moment you stop performing. Work hard and remain modest, girl. What about a score? And you simply know. When he saw the box score, Stephen A. Smith sighed dramatically and yelled into space. 4 points, 4 points. He's already warming up the monologue somewhere. Now listen to me, young woman. This young woman is excellent. Acknowledge that she is no longer in Baton Rouge and that he is correct. Before that stat sheet begins to resemble a post-it note, Angel Reese needs to get into her flow. Although nobody anticipates her dropping 40, is it possible for us to have a double-digit night? Perhaps add a moment of offensive clarity and an assist. It's like seeing someone attempt to microwave a steak right now. Perplexing and distressing, and the strain is not decreasing. These days, every game and every minute spent on the floor is a test. She is now trying out for a spot in the league rather than just playing basketball. This isn't the NCAA, where everyone is yelling your name and every rebound has its own montage. If your production doesn't match your promo, the WBA will bench you in the middle of your sentence.
And she wreaks havoc. She's the rookie of the year. She's 4th in the league in MVP voting. 4th in the league, her rookie year.
Wow.
Outstanding. She's like Steph Curry. She can pull up from anywhere. You understand? She has that kind of capability. Didn't win a national championship. Lost to LSU one year. We lost to South Carolina another year. But she's outstanding and clearly worthy of being the number 1 overall pick. And what I was saying to everybody is ride the wave.
Angel Reese now has 2 choices. She either literally and figuratively bounces back, or she becomes the subject of ESPN's 30 for 30 special, What If Angel Never Scored?, which includes slow-motion footage of missed layups and dramatic piano music. The clock is running out of time. Although the stage remains, the focus is changing. An Angel won't simply be kicked from the court if she doesn't light it up quickly. Tyler will now join the chat when she leaves. Marsh, the man with the headset, clipboard, and what appears to be a Rubik's Cube plan for Angel Reese's placement. The she has been whirled around the court by him like Abe Wildered Twister game. You are a power forward now. You're on a stretch 4 now. You're now that formation coach. What exactly is it? He seems to be attempting to use interpretive dance to address her performance issues. Here's the kicker, though. The obvious reality that Angel Reese isn't delivering isn't obscured by all that tactical wrangling. Rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic and wondering why you're still sinking is something like that. She may be painted around the parking lot's edge by Tyler Marsh. It makes no difference. We have a problem in Houston, or in this case, Chicago, if she continues to have 4-point shooting nights and hoard rebounds as a side gig.
Balled at Iowa in college. She's balled since she's been in the NBA. She came into the league last year with no break whatsoever between the college game and the pro game and did her thing. Ended up as an all-star, ended up being 4th in the league in MVP voting, was the clear winner for Rookie of the Year. No competition whatsoever in that regard when it was really all said and done. We know what she brings to.
Even though Caitlin Clark has been seriously injured, she has managed to remain the WNBA's star player. She could be shooting baskets from a wheelchair while wearing a complete leg brace, and she would still have more assists and baskets than Angel Reese did in the previous game. Caitlin contributes even on her worst days. If you were to blindfold her, she would probably still give a triple-double simply to get even with the people who criticize her. Imagine this then. Caitlin Clark returns after her injuries. She's taken a nap. She's furious, and her fire is stronger than a dragon's on espresso. Similar to a cheat code, the fever plugs her back in. As all is going on, the sky remains frozen, wondering if Angel Reese will ever remember how to shoot a basketball. Try it like she means it, but don't even make it. It's no longer even subtle. When the ball lands in Angel's hands, it seems like clockwork, and the fans all sigh at once. As you watch the sky play, there was no cheer or gasp, only that heartbreaking, disappointed, "Oh God, not again" sigh, as if they were witnessing someone repeatedly attempt to unlock an iPhone with the incorrect fingerprint. It has now evolved into performance art. Additionally, it's never a good indicator when your coach intentionally changes your job in the middle of the season to see what could work. That isn't a strategy for development. It's coaching roulette. It indicates that they don't believe you can do simple tasks. They are therefore anticipating that if they move you around enough, you might unintentionally stumble onto success.
Reese at this point, and it has nothing to do with like how she's handled herself or anything. It's just simply Caitlin Clark is so much better than Angel Reese at basketball that it doesn't feel fair.
Yeah, I think Angel Reese is struggling with the fact that Caitlin Clark is better at her best thing than she is.
She's better at everything.
And
she had a triple-double. She's tied for the 3rd most triple-doubles in WNBA history, and she's played 50 games.
Let's call it what it is, though. Angel Reese is not improving, adapting, or making intangible contributions. Poor performance. Additionally, the comparison only grows worse the longer she stays on the court while Caitlin Clark heals. Because Caitlin won't settle for mediocrity when she gets back. She will blow up. Next to last year's Halloween clearance bin, she will remind everyone why her jersey sales are smashing records while Angels are gathering dust. With a toddler-level scoring average, Angel Reese is not required to be the WNBA's rebound queen. Leaders, bucket gutters, and game changers are needed. Additionally, Angel is currently bringing vibrations rather than victories. No, the sky won't ever be better until they deal with the room's angel-sized elephant. A winning team cannot be constructed around a person whose public attitude is their most reliable statistic. You can only post so many "I'm her" tweets before the box score starts to change. Let's be honest, I'm beginning to feel that overrated is an understatement. It's realism, not hate. The hype machine was effective. Angel was the Bayou Barbie, the NIL queen, and the media favorite. The glitter began to flake as soon as the lights in the major leagues turned on. Generational talent isn't evident from 4 points and a highlight reel of missed layups. "Hey, do you remember me from college?" They yell.
Unfortunately, it comes with the crown.
I got to push back on you a little bit.
Okay.
I think you're being a little bit too PC. Let's call it what it is. I am not trying to say that she should be criticized or she is wrong What I'm saying is by pulling it down, clearly you felt there was something wrong with it. Now, yes, you are 22. Yes, you are young. And there's a lot of things that we didn't want people to know about when we were her age. Fair enough, especially me, okay? Because I'm 30 plus years removed from that age. I got that part. There was no social media then or whatever. But here's my point to you. She knows this social media. She is not dumb.
The atmosphere in the locker room must also be tense. As they bear the real scoring burden, teammates are working hard to watch her post pre-game selfies. Instagram filters eventually make it impossible to pretend to be a leader. Imagine that you are a young player on the Sky roster who works hard in practice and receives only 2 minutes of game time, while Angel Reese plays 30 minutes of glorified cardio with 12 rebounds that resulted in nothing at all. The court doesn't care how many followers you have. What matters is how often you actually show up and do something that Angel hasn't done. That must be a morale-depleting thing. You see someone spend their playing time as if it were Monopoly, money, and your only option is to kindly clap from the bench. What if we placed a wager on someone who peaked on TikTok? The Sky front office must be watching this unfold like a reality show they didn't sign up for. This type of error in judgment keeps general managers up at night. And since you have to cut your losses at some time, Tyler Marsh is most likely growing older by the year while attempting to figure out how to save this. Like a delayed Amazon parcel, you can't keep waiting for potential to materialize. The Sky will be forced to give priority to players who truly produce if Angel Reese doesn't immediately figure it out. Redemption arcs without redemption are not something the league can afford.
It will be Caitlin Clark if she stays healthy. There's a group of them that would hope for her to be out. But
why do you say she's going to be the Jackie Robinson of the WNBA?
Well,
it's not like she's the first white girl.
She's not the first white girl, but she's the first white superstar at the levels where she's scoring these, the threes she's shooting. She's like a Steph Curry. She's the first actual superstar that people care. When's the last time we watched like college basketball? If I told you, tell me the greatest college basketball female basketball players last 30 years. And you watch I know her. She's our meet, but you look at some of these names, you see some of these.
Not to mention the fans. They were sold the idea of Angel VC's Caitlin Fireworks rivalry ratings, but instead they got Angel out here running victory sprints disguised as professional minutes and Caitlin carrying the league narrative on one leg. It's similar to purchasing VIP seats to a performance only to discover that the main act has forgotten their words. If Caitlin returns and begins to dip on May 5th or 20th, while Angel continues to stat pack her rebounds as she's constructing a private museum. The analogy will no longer be amusing. It will be tragic. It will serve as an example of how hard work isn't always a direct result of hype. Therefore, until they clean up this filth, the Sky will never be better, and that could require making the difficult decision. Perhaps we should just call it what it is. The experiment with Angel Reese isn't working, not until she quickly discovers her game. If not, she will quickly become irrelevant and overrated.